Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's post-game chat. Dallas Cowboys news from tonight's preseason game. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about some of the winners and losers from tonight's game, and I just want to get some of your feedback on what you guys liked and what you didn't. All right, the serious. Got more time. You know how we do it. Got more time for the duration of the video. So shout out to everybody joining live. Catching on to the replay. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the bell for the notifications, and we'll get right into the discussion. Game is finishing up here. Texans 20, Cowboys 14. All right, so we'll hit up on a couple of topics here. The main one that I think we need to talk about is this backup quarterback position. We're hearing all the right things, right? We're hearing all the propaganda that Dak Prescott will be ready for week one. We're hearing it from several sources. You do see a little bit of dissension from Adam Schefter, but I think Dak Prescott will ultimately be ready for that game one. You know what I'm saying? Now, the part that is concerning for me is if at any point of the season you need to go to a backup for a game or two, or God forbid, a certain stretch, this team will be in big trouble. You know what I mean? Like, from what I saw from Garrett Gilbert tonight, zero pocket presence. All right? Zero pocket presence. Man, what do you guys think about Garrett Gilbert's game tonight? Give me a grade. Was it an A, B, C, D, F? What grade do you give Garrett Gilbert tonight? Let me know in the comments, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat box. Appreciate you guys. For me, Garrett Gilbert, he didn't do anything. Couldn't move the ball. And what's interesting is they pulled him pretty early. I think he did like 2 series. Couldn't move down the field. No pocket presence. I think he gets a D. Okay. Now you look at Cooper Rush, and he was able to score twice. 14 points. They came under Cooper Rush. His first drive on the field, pushed the team down, scored a touchdown, and got another touchdown a little bit later. So you like to see that. But my thing is Garrett Gilbert the for sure number 2 quarterback? You know what I mean? Is there any wiggle room for Cooper Rush to actually win that spot? You know what I mean? So that'll be interesting to see if Cooper Rush takes over that position. But at the end of the day, guys, like, if Dak doesn't play and we're having to rely on these backup quarterbacks, the Cowboys season will be dead at sea. So that won't be good by any means. It's okay. Now you look at Ben DiNucci, complete utter disaster. He's a practice squad guy at best. I don't even know if you carry him on the practice squad. There's got to be better players out there, that you can carry. And then Ben DiNucci. So where is he at on the Cowboys, on the Cowboys timeline as far as being a part of the team? I know he's McCarthy's guy, but 3 interceptions, 1 pick six. He had a terrible game, dude. Ben DiNucci, he looks really, really bad, dude. Poor, decision making with the ball. How do you guys grade Cooper Rush? I think for today, you give him a. I think he gets a B+ for today. Ben DiNucci, F-, the lowest of the lowest. Complete disaster. So that's where we're at on the quarterback position there. Okay.
Cowboys Corner joined.
Let's see here. We got Cowboys Corner joining the stream here. All right, Cowboys Corner preseason game. Brother,
what's going on, man?
What's going on, dude? So yeah, I'm just talking about quarterbacks. With everybody in the chat box. I think we can all agree that Cooper Rush was the better of the quarterbacks today. Head over, just way better. What's your thought on the backup quarterback position here with the Cowboys, Mike?
It's a disaster. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Cooper Rush was good today. we don't know if Cooper Rush is going to be good tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Garrett Gilbert holds the ball way too long. Gilbert can't see the field. I don't know what happened or what he was getting taught or what he changed, but he can't see the field. Against Pittsburgh Steelers last year and in the preseason this year, he was seeing the field. He digressed in that. Cooper Rush in this moment at this time looked really good. I think he had like 140 QBR. Came in there, scored, got 2 touchdown drives, right? And then Ben DiNucci. It's a Mike McCarthy project. And if Mike McCarthy is the quarterback guru and Ben DiNucci is his baby because he drafted him, developed him, started him last year against the Eagles, and then had this whole thing, and he's looking like this, is Mike McCarthy really the guru, or is Mike McCarthy a product of talented quarterbacks, Joe?
No, those are all really good points. You hit it on the head with Cooper Rush. He was good tonight. Consistency is his big problem. Metal Maniac, this is a good one here. Rush is still garbage. They need to trade for Minshew. So I wonder if what they've seen through these couple of games, if the front office is like, I don't know, man. I think we need to get a little bit better here, especially if this is an issue that we're going to have to monitor with Dak and the muscle strain. I feel like you are going to have to like monitor that as the season goes. Who's to say that he might have to rest up and miss a game or two, right? Like, right. God forbid, that's a worst case scenario. I don't feel good about these guys backing up. I think you will lose those games. As good as all the weapons that you have, Mike, and you mentioned this, you can have all the weapons in the world. If you don't have the guy to get the ball to them, you know what I mean? It's for naught. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. And it's a scary situation. And then again, the initial 53 roster or 55-man roster, whatever they're allowing this year, it's not going to be the roster who we're playing against Tampa Bay. They're going to make changes and cuts throughout the process, even way before we get to Tampa Bay. But I'm monitoring that backup quarterback position, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about some other positions here tonight, who winners and losers. Obviously, DiNucci, number one loser tonight, unfortunately. The offensive line, I think, started out kind of shaky, and then maybe they kind of got their feet under them. But I really, Biadasz looked okay. Connor Williams, he is what he is. So, Lyle Collins had an issue there with the speed rush. So they look kind of sloppy there in the first part of the game. Mike, do you have any concerns, guys? Mike and everybody in the chat box on the offensive line?
Not really. Like Martin said in one of the interviews, of rust, because it's been a long time since you had that line be on the field together at once. It's been a while. A year don't seem long, but when you're dealing with football and cadence and techniques and these guys' feet go here. Speaking of that, Garrett Gilbert tripped, because where feet is supposed to get his feet out from underneath there, right? So it's just they just need to. I feel like the offensive line needs to go play next week, Joe, and get some more camaraderie going.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So it's good to see all those guys get at least 2 series. I think the offensive side, I wasn't really looking too much. It was good to see Dalton Schultz out there. You know what I mean? So he's back. So he's no longer rehabbing, I guess. But good to see him out there.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think Jarwin too. He had a good clutch catch down the center field there. Just getting everybody back and getting everybody in order, and seeing what can happen in Tampa Bay. It's a little shaky. It's a little scary to me. We are playing the defending Super Bowl champs, and even the defense looked a little weak. And then come to find out, Dan Quinn and another defensive player had to go leave the facility due to COVID precautions and stuff. But it took a while for the defense to get underneath their feet. And I didn't like how they started with Marcus Parsons and Keanu O'Neal.
You did like that, right?
I did. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. I think, that's a good point here. So we'll talk about the defensive side here. What I didn't like, and hopefully this is not what they're going to do in the regular season, Mike, is all this rotation. all the subbing with the linebackers. You saw Michael Parsons, Neal, you saw LVE and Jalen, and they kept coming in and out. Like, dude, you need to get a rhythm going. But you said it. For me, it's Parsons and Neal. I think that's the combination that Quinn needs to come out and say. I don't know if he needs to come out and say it, but he needs to just go with his crew. Like, these are the guys I want out here on the field. Michael Parsons is a 4-down linebacker. You know what I mean? I don't want to see him coming in and off the field. You know what I mean? And I guess it's maybe they're looking at it in the preseason, Mike. But what did you feel? That subbing did to the defense on the linebacker spot.
Well, you said it best, Joe. They got to stay in there. He's a 4-down linebacker. You got to get your feet underneath them. You got to get warmed up. If you're going to the sidelines, watching a couple of plays, it's going to take you out of the rhythm of the game. If you played football, you 100% understand that. You got to get some consistency. Micah Parsons on Hard Knocks was talking about, the first game. Don't take me out. I want to play more because he missed last year. You got to get those guys in there. You got to get them in a rhythm. And again, just like the offensive line, that defense, they have to build some consistent gelling too.
Absolutely. So I think, all of us are kind of seeing the same thing, right? Parsons, he just makes all the plays. He's got the speed. He's just a pressure player. And Neal, a physical player. Other linebacker that really stood out tonight for me, Mike, is Jabril Cox.
Yes.
I mean, this guy, he hits you. He wants to hurt you. Like, he wants you to feel that tackle. I mean, that's a linebacker to me, man. To me, a linebacker sees the play unfold. He hits you and wants to make you feel that hit.
Yes. So the last show we did, I asked the question: is Jabril Cox a practicer or not? Or he's not a practicer, so is he a gamer? He admitted week one, or preseason one, the Hall of Fame game, that he's overthinking. Second game, what he started doing, Joe? Started playing free. This game, playing free. The guy is a beast. I was high on him. I'm still high on him. The Jabril of Steels, all right?
Yeah, man, for real. Jabril the Steel Cox, dude. Like, I like to see him. I want to see. Now, if they are going to do this subbing crap in the regular season, I want to see Jabril Cox in there over Jalen Smith. I hate to say it, but, I mean, that's where it is. You know what I mean?
And the Cowboys protected themselves, right? Because I know there's a lot of hype around this linebacker core, but it's only for 1 year. Keanu Neal, 1 year deal. They're not going to sign LVE. Not picking up his 5th-year option. That told you that. Will they get out of Jalen Smith's contract, right? So Micah and Jabril, they're going to be the last one standing, and you build on top of that linebacker depth. So Cowboys got some assurance in their back pocket.
Exactly. And I think that's the game plan, like long ball. That's where it's going to be, right? Like, now if they want to throw in another linebacker, maybe in next year's draft, or maybe they want to re-up Keanu Neal, I think we're looking good there. This defensive linebacker thing, they've really, have reinvented it really quick. It took one draft class. So that was good, dude. Jabril Cox was probably one of my favorite players tonight. We did get to see a little bit of Malik Hooker out there. It was good to see him out there, hitting, getting out there, getting physical, and, trying to make plays on the ball. So I like to see that. Now, yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I didn't like where he was playing at in the game. I think he played too late. He should have played a lot earlier. But again, you got to earn your reps. But I didn't like where he was playing. I think to just be able to evaluate him and get him a chance, he has to play with some ones to see how he gels.
I agree. That's a good point, Mike. That's a really good point. Now, when you look at, who started here in the game, they did have Anthony Brown out there. So it's almost like a preview. And I know fans want Joseph or Wright to start next to Diggs, but the Cowboys, they do what they do, right? And it looks like it is going to be Brown to start the season, as your starter. And that's not to say that Joseph will eventually take over, Mike, but how do you feel about the starters that you saw out there lining up?
Yeah, Anthony Brown, he scares me, dude. With me 100% with you. Anthony Brown scares me. Boss Man Fat just not ready yet. I think you can develop him and get that moving, but to me, Nahshon Wright needs to be opposite of Trayvon Diggs. I think he's more physical. I think he's a little bit more athletic, right? But you talk about speed. Obviously, Kelvin Joseph's going to be faster than Nashawn Wright, but Nashawn Wright, I think he's more technical sound in a sense than Boss Man Fat is. But if I was the coach, I'd be getting Nashawn Wright over there. But the starters for the corners, I thought they did okay. Jordan Lewis, he kind of scares me too. But I guess it is what it is. But it's just there's a breath of fresh air, and there's some promise if things work out, right? There's always the what if and the ifs, but there is some promise.
Yeah, and that's really how you have to look at the preseason and everything that we've been seeing, right? It's hard for anybody to say this is what we are gonna do. Like this is what you know what I'm saying? Like It's all kind of theory and bravado and hope and everything like that. But when the bullets start flying, it's a whole different game ball. So,
excuse me.
Pretty interesting indeed. Guys, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're watching on the replay, hit that like button.
Hit it.
A little bit. I saw somebody mention the wide receivers. We can hit on that, Mike, and I think that's a good conversation. Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson, to me, I thought maybe there would be a conversation as far as like maybe one of them doesn't make the team. Maybe you keep Fehoko over one of those guys. After today, I'm not on that anymore. I'm full on. Cedric's for sure making the team. Noah Brown's for sure making the team. Right now, honestly, Mike, and everybody in the chat, I don't know that Fehoko makes his team. He might be a practice squad guy unless they go 6 deep, and I just don't know about that, Mike.
I would be honest, man. I heard the hype, about Simi Fehoko, but I started watching him. Yeah, he could practice, but can he? Are the lights too big for him?
Right.
And maybe it's his quarterbacks too. Well, I just trashed all these quarterbacks that played today, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it could be the quarterback, but I'm not seeing that splash. I'm not seeing what the hype was about. Project player, you could probably stash him on the practice squad if someone don't pick him up. But I just don't see the hype, Joe, and I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, man, and it's unfortunate, and that's kind of a problem that you have when you have a lot of talent at some of these, positions. You know what I mean? Now, if we didn't have, the wide receivers that we have, probably be a different conversation. But there will be some good players that don't make this team, and you're going to have to hope that you make it to the practice squad. But we'll see there. But yeah. Unless they carry 6, and even then, some people are mentioning Malik Turner. I think even Malik has played better than him.
Big fan of Malik, but is he hurt?
He's hurt right now, so that's the thing about him. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do there. Mike, somebody mentioned the swing tackle position. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about these swing tackles and how bad they are because it's you're gonna get deep in the weeds here if you lose Tyron or Lyle, Mike. I just don't like what I'm seeing from any of those guys. Is anybody giving you any kind of hope at that position?
No, I can't say. And I wish they played that dude from Mexico at the left tackle. They moved him to guard.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him how he was at left tackle, but Nasaki, he's too old for me, man. He's getting Terrence Steele. He played some left tackle today, and boy, did he just left some things open, right?
Oh yeah,
couple of sacks there. Brandon Knight got bull rushed like he didn't even play anything last year. The swing tackle position, man, it sucks. Again, we still got cuts and everything else. 53-man roster, 55-man roster, whatever it's going to be, is not set in stone yet. So we got to see who they bring in, who they don't.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of everybody in the chat box. Still terrible. I totally agree. And like you said, Mike, Naseki, he looks 36 years old, man. He really does. He looks like he's running in mud, dude. That ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, it's not. And Tyron, I think he only played like 4 or 5 snaps. He didn't play much at all. They got him the heck out of there. And that, we talk about the offensive line, kind of looking a little sluggish because there's not a lot of playing time right there. But I think the same five that started the day needs to start next week.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. And I think really we see it every year. That the first game or two kind of have that preseason sloppiness to it. So I expect like when we play Tampa Bay, there's still going to be some of that rust, from both teams. You know what I mean? But
I hope.
yeah, the less the better, though. You know what I mean? But man, we can't. We absolutely cannot have Dak not play in this game or any game. I'm crossing my fingers that we don't have to rely on any of these backups, dude. They're terrible.
It's definitely not good, dude. And they took care of the defense side of the ball, which I'm appreciative of. I think the defense is going to be a lot better. A lot better. I mean, they're not going to be 32nd. I will bet you $1,000 for that. They're not going to be 32nd. But I don't know. It's always the backup quarterback. They haven't had a solid backup in years, and the trend continued. It really doesn't matter who the coach is.
Yeah, that's it right there, Mike. Another defensive player, I'm seeing this in the chat box, is Bradley Anae. I thought he had some good plays out there, some good pressures. Making some good tackles out there. What's your thoughts on Bradley Anae's performance tonight, Mike?
Yeah, again, another player that a lot of people were hyped about, and I wasn't very hyped on him because I never even seen him play. He's making plays. When his number's called, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's doing his job. He had a scare. To me, I was like, oh, crap, his leg there. He did the splits, but he was out there making plays, and he's been disruptive this whole preseason so far, and I like Anae. I see where the hype was. I didn't see it because I never even seen him play, so I like what he's bringing.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing, right? Well, for whatever reason, Nolan didn't want to get him out there. I think he's but he's getting the opportunity, and he's looked really good the last 2 weeks. I think that he's making a really good push to make this team. I mean, he made it last year, right? And he's really, I think he's even made a little bit of a leap here. I think he's getting good, coaching. And getting mentoring from DeMarcus Lawrence. You do see some of those moves; they look a little familiar to me. So I like that. I think that's going to be a good player to keep. But Mike, any of the other defensive ends that kind of stood out to you that you feel good about?
Odigizua, I know he's not an end, but
let's talk about Osa. There you go.
I love number 75, man.
Yeah,
he was our first third-round pick. I never put it live, but I did have the Cowboys drafted him in the third round just because I liked what he brought to the team. He potentially could bring to the team. But dude's just a stud. I mean, he is really just picked up right where Malik Collins – not Malik Collins. He did play today against us. Neville Gallimore.
Yeah.
Picked up right where Neville Gallimore left off, and very disruptive play. I love some Odigizua.
Hell yeah, dude. He looks the part, man. I mean, he's one of these, Baconator type of players. I mean, he's got, girth, width, the weight, plays with good leverage, and when they did that stop, right? It's been a long time since we've had that type of penetration and where they stop, a fourth down conversion, it seems like. So that was an awesome play. You know what I mean? And if we can have more plays like that, dude, like this run defense will be a lot better this year.
Yeah, Bohanna, I think he's he's too big pushing up the field. I think if he stays in his gaps and kind of move offensive players and just wait for the running back to get to him, I think that'll help him a lot. But his big ass, he's running too far up the field.
Yeah, Bohanna, he's actually surprised me, man. Honestly, like he's played a lot better than I thought. Being like a late round pick and whatnot. But I like him. I think he makes a team. I think he's.
Oh yeah, he'll make the team.
He does have some moves to him. For as big as he is, I think he's one of those dancing bears, that type of defensive tackle, and gives you some size, right? So I think he's doing really good. I think he had a good game, relatively good game. Not an excellent game, but I thought he held his own.
Yep. Yeah. No, he's been pretty consistent this past 3 games. Oh, Diggy Zua though, man.
Oh, Diggy Zua, man, really stepping up, filling in, and for the longest time, and there was always that next man up mentality under Garrett. Under Garrett, the next man up never really ever took off. Like, it never was a thing here. But here, I feel like with some of the players that you have here now, you kind of are seeing a little bit of that, especially on defense, like next man up. So Bohanna, Osa Digizua, next man up. Good job indeed.
Trying to think of any other player there on the defense side of the ball, Joe, that stuck out to me. Can't think of one. It's been pretty stale for the most part. The players that we wanted to step up and play that are shining in camp have been doing that on the defense side of the ball. I don't think they allowed a third down this game as a whole unit, which is pretty impressive. But but they lost the game. But just stupid mistakes and sloppy starts.
Yeah, that was one of the deals there. They held him to 77 yards, right? 0 for 6 on third down conversions in that first half. Like, that's pretty damn good. Like, if they can just clean everything up, and move the ball on offense, which I feel that they're going to be able to do that with the full-time starters with Dak Prescott and all the weapons that we have. I thought Jarwin looked pretty good. It's good to see him back from his injury, hitting that seam, getting deep down the field and making the catch. I like seeing that out of Jarwin. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Speaking of Dak, man, Joe, how nervous are you? We're not really nervous, but how confident are you with Dak not getting any preseason reps? Hasn't really been throwing going into week 1 because we're probably not going to see him next week.
Yeah, for me, honestly, I think, just in general for sports or whatever, I think you need to get reps. You know what I mean? I think it's good to say, oh, this guy could come off the couch and, light it up. You know what I mean? And the bravado, fan confidence in that. But the reality is you're going to need some reps. So honestly, I do expect some rust there. There might be some timing issues there, but, it's definitely something that I wouldn't say it's a big concern, but it'll be something that you'll probably see in game 1. You know what I mean? I think you will see some of the timing and rhythm, kind of show up there. So we'll see what happens. What about you, Mike? How are you feeling about that?
Not really concerned. And this is not coming from a Dak lover, right? Not really concerned at all because we didn't have preseason games last year, right? And I think it was only 3 weeks of camp. So they didn't get much camp, no preseason game. And, Dak went in there. We just went practice reps. We could have done a lot better against the Rams there, but he took off and he was crushing yardage, right? So not really too concerned about Dak not playing till week 1.
It's a good question from Drew Music. Is Dak going to be limited in practice all year, similar to Cam Newton a few years back with the shoulder injury? So what I think this will be something that they're going to deal with the whole year because it's not the shoulder, it's the lat muscle, that goes down here and it comes up to your rotator cuff. So that's what it is. You know what I mean? Some people are kind of saying it's the shoulder, it's the lat muscle that goes from the back up to your rotator cuff. You know what I mean? And it's more of a MLB pitcher's type of injury. So, but yeah, I think this will be something that they'll need to monitor, during the year. You know what I mean? And let's just hope that he doesn't restrain it. You know what I mean? Because if that happens, we might have to go to a backup quarterback like a game or two, and I don't want to see that.
Yeah, no, it's a tricky injury because quarterbacks they're 60 plays, and you're throwing anywhere between 25 to 40 times in those 60 plays, and so Dak just has to be smart. And you can't pitch count him in a football game. There's no way you can pitch count a quarterback in a live football game. You just can't do it. I think they just got to be smart. Give him a Romo day off. I'm going to compare it to the Romo day off instead of the Cam Newton thing. Just give him a Romo day off. See how he feels. Put some icy hot on it. Massage it out. I'm sure. I'm sure Deshaun Watson has some masseuses in his back pocket that can call up. So it is what it is. Is that too soon with the Deshaun Watson joke? No.
Not too soon at all. As a matter of fact, he needs to go ahead and get the suspension after what they did to Zeke. I think Deshaun should already be suspended. That's a whole nother subject, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to April Showers, longtime subscriber. Love you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate you very much, April. What else we got in here, guys? Again, we won't know until Dak takes a hit. I think that's a good point too, right? I think you want to see him take a hit and see how he responds. So that I'm sure he'll get his moments in that Tampa game. I promise you, he will get that will get tested there. So
oh yeah. I think Dak will be fine. I don't even think Dak needs the hit. He might say he does, but I really think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Comment here that I like. JJ Green CD looks nasty. That guy is just a superstar, right? A superstar in the making. This guy is just making plays in practice, in games, got the hands. I just don't want him on punt returns, Mike. I'm not a fan of that, punt returns.
Yeah, the hand-eye coordination is probably the best in the league. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, that hand-eye coordination is what makes him great. I don't know how he catches half the ball he catches. It's like, how in the world did he even see that? With the helmet on him, with the player in front of him. It's just amazing.
Dude, it is. I'm pumped to see what he does this year. I'm very pumped. Mario Flores, the safeties, how do you feel about it? Safeties. So Donovan Wilson, I feel fine with him. I think Kazee, does a pretty good job as well. And then, of course, you have Malik Hooker in the mix. The question is, who's going to be that fourth safety? You know what I mean? Typically, they carry four safeties. Who is it going to be? Curse looked pretty good, I thought. I think he's had a solid training camp, preseason. So it might be him. I don't know if Mkwamu has done enough. Mike, what's your take on the safeties right now?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I was not impressed with Wilson today. I think he was just a product of the defense finally getting their feet underneath them. He went in for a blitz, and the effort almost looked like Xavier Woods to me. The effort just wasn't there. He could have had a sack or at least put a hand on a quarterback, and he didn't. Go back, watch the tape. You don't believe me? No hater here, but I wasn't too big on Wilson today. But again, I guess it is what it is. Mkwamu, I think I haven't seen much from him. Darian Thompson.
Yeah.
I didn't like where they played Hooker at all. I think he should have gotten chances with the ones today. Curse, he made some noise, but I wouldn't be surprised if Keanu Neal was switching up too back there. Because I think they still have him as a safety too, not a linebacker.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, Mkwamu practice squads there. Could be, man. But yeah, Mike, everybody, appreciate everybody that joined us here live for the post-game report on this game here. The dress rehearsal games, typically what they call it. But next game, you're just going to see the final guys on the bubble, really. You know what I mean? I think you'll probably see a lot of DiNucci. You might see a couple of pick sixes. So that's going to be challenging. So next week game against Jacksonville to finish it up. And then we get to the real deal, man. So we're getting down to it. I think some of these positions are kind of close to getting clinched up. And come down in this last game for the ones on the very edge, though. You know what I'm saying, Mike?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's fun football. It just feels good to be in front of the TV watching football again. And I'm just super nervous for this year. It can go either way, honestly. It really can.
Yeah, appreciate that, April. Appreciate all you guys out there. Thank you guys for checking us out here tonight, catching up on this game. Good to see Mike here. And we'll be back on Tuesday. We'll have a Frisco report, and we'll give you guys the latest news. And maybe we'll do a little bit of a of a roster projection, Mike.
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
I think we'll do a little bit of that, guys. So check back on Tuesday. We'll give you a roster projection, and we'll break it down, guys. But thanks for checking everything out tonight, guys. Guys, hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace, everybody.